All right, guys, what is up? I am joined here by Kevin and Ben. Say what's up, guys.
What's up?
And Ben is being quiet as fuck, but okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, we are going to be doing a Rick and Morty season 1, episode 1 tier list since we just finished rewatching season 1. So,
Just to make sure we aren't missing anything.
right, exactly right. So, I mean, I have my notes up. I don't know what you guys, but I
Oh,
did write.
I didn't take notes.
You
I
didn't
don't
take
have memory,
notes?
but
Oh, okay.
no,
Well,
no.
memory works too, but
All right,
I like some
we'll be
notes.
leaning on you then.
I like notes too, just because you can write down like key little things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
episode 1, it starts out,
Well,
well,
actually, before we get into episode 1, I'm kind of a little bit confused by the color scheme here. Swifty,
oh
because of the top, I assume that's best, but it's red.
yes. So
Okay,
Swifty is our S tier. That's why.
got it,
And
got it.
then Pickle Rick would be our A tier. You Squanch Your Family, which is our B tier.
A little ambiguous, but all right.
Woo wee is
Oh, yeah.
is our C tier, and then of course a wubba lubba dub dub is D tier because it means I'm in great pain. Pain, please help me.
All right, the episode is in great pain. We need to help the episode.
Yes, exactly.
Got it, got it.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone is going to be in a wubba lubba dub dub yet.
Honestly, same. I can't like. I'm kind of like giving an overview in my mind, and I'm having a hard
I,
time thinking anything is going to fit in that area, but we'll see. We'll
right.
see.
All right. So let's start it out with Rick and Morty season 1, episode 1, the pilot episode.
Yes.
This is
Well, that
the
kicks it all off.
right, and then we find out in
But
this
also,
episode, Rick just built a ship.
right, which is a little odd because he says he builds it. He builds it off of like parts they found in the garage. That's a little. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be analyzing the logistics of the the
Right.
series, but
Agreed.
it is great to see all the random shit this dude can make off of
Right,
like
exactly.
basically nothing.
Right, yeah,
But
literally nothing, and he can build like something scientific out of it.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
this episode too this is when we see Jerry with like a lot of backbone, and he actually has a job. Jerry actually has a
that's
job in
right.
his
One of the very very few times in the show where he does.
yeah, and he's
I
actually got a lot of backbone in this episode, the pilot episode.
So
Like
I
he
do,
d-
of course, like when they introduce the characters, introduce the situation. It's all
mhm.
like, of course, very important story wise. Yet I have a hard time thinking like, does it feel different for you when you watch it? Like it's just, I guess, hard to really explain or like to point out to anything specific, but it just like feels very different from like the rest of the series. This
I
first
think
episode in particular, like episode 2, we're like
mhm.
we're right back into normal,
Yeah.
but 1 is just like something's odd.
Well, remember, like at the end of the episode, they said we're gonna do our regular Rick and Morty adventures. Sometimes we won't do like we'll do just random stuff. I think
Yeah,
that's what this episode is heading towards. It's gonna be just a random episode, like how they have random episodes throughout the season, like Rickety
right.
Minutes, how it's just completely random. It's just them watching
Oh,
interdimensional
absolutely.
cable.
Which is funny because I think that was the very first one that actually features a callback to a previous episode. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I guess in the
Um.
meantime, anything to pitch in, Ben?
Um, I'd if we're gonna rate it, I think that the pilot would be Pickle Rick. I
Agree.
don't think it was the best.
I agree there. It wasn't the
Yeah,
best, but there's also other stuff we have to accumulate in as well. I mean, this is the first time we see Prince of Vagina, and when was the last time we've actually seen him? Do you guys remember?
he kind of phased out of the show. That's
I
it's weird.
think the only time I can remember him being was maybe season 4 pilot with the Death Crystals. Was he even? I don't know if he was even in
Oh,
that one.
he might have been in because
I
yeah, he went to school on that one.
yeah.
Maybe. In any case, I do like putting this one as Pickle Rick just because it does feel a little off. It doesn't
Yeah.
become too relevant later on, and even though it is, of course, important and it is very entertaining and good, it's got some good jokes, good cracks in there.
Hmm.
I'm thinking some episodes that like make the series for me, and like I have to have another layer above them to say that for these episodes it is like S tier.
Yeah,
To
I
have another
agree.
tier, to have another tier above to say like the real paramount ones.
What I also like about the show though is like this episode is how Rick is always against time traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
He's always against it. But in this first episode, he time traveled. He even says he went to a
Yeah.
future
Well,
dimension. He time traveled to a future dimension in order to get
so
that serum. for
You know what's
Morty.
funny? The entire series, so up until I think season 5, I thought that when he's like, "Oh yeah, I went to a future dimension, Morty," and I thought that actually meant that he went to the future. But remember in the acid vat, the vat of acid episode,
Hmm.
that whole like time save your
Oh,
point and like time
yeah.
travel back. It turns out there isn't actually like time travel
He,
involved there. They're just
no,
different dimensions that are
that
at different points in time.
yeah, and then he like swaps places with them basically.
Yeah. So so maybe by that, I think in this to say a future dimension rather than say in the future, maybe he meant that there was another dimension that was just ahead
But
in
more
time.
advanced, yeah, I see
Yeah.
that.
So he swapped to a dimension that did that, and then so it might not have actually been time travel.
Right, and
But
then
that was new as of like this season.
right, yeah, no, like literally this season. And actually, when's the last time we heard Rick actually burp in episodes?
Jeez. Yeah. He used to
He,
make that a
he
theme.
yeah,
Damn.
he's getting constantly less drunk as the episodes go on and seasons go
Hey,
on.
maybe it's a good sign for our boy Rick, you know?
Right. And let's not forget, this is the episode where Jerry actually called Morty slow.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, so next one is episode 2 when Morty's dog becomes, super fucking smart.
Yeah.
He tries to take over, the world, or he has plans.
Definitely
But
solid episode.
but
No
eventually,
bad ratings from me.
right, eventually he just goes to a different planet cuz Rick, what's he do to Morty? He gives him something where, oh, he gives him some pills. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, your kidneys are going to shut down."
Yeah, right.
And it was all a dream in Snowball's head. So he's like, "All right, fuck that shit. I'm leaving."
Yep. And so
And
that was cool. The callback with the scary Terry as
you're
like,
right. Oh yeah.
Freddy
Gotta lo-
Krueger,
gotta
that
love
sort of thing.
Scary Terry.
That
But
stuff was fun.
yeah, so
I mean, very solid up there. I wouldn't say quite S, of course.
no, I wouldn't say quite S.
But A or lower, I still say, of course,
Yeah,
upper. I am up for any of that kind of
I,
rating.
I,
If
I can say it's probably up there with Pickle Rick.
I'd say so too.
You been?
I'd say Pickle Rick or you Squanch. I didn't like the idea of the dogs taking over the world, but I did like the idea of Freddy Krueger being in it. So it was kind of a mix.
All right.
Gotcha. And now Anatomy Park.
Night
Oh,
Park is a
that's gotta be
real good
Swifty.
one.
That's
That was
Right.
probably the
I
best
think
that
I
I've
think
seen.
this is
With-
probably our first Swifty episode.
with
Absolutely.
how freaking solid that I'm still impressed with how consistently this show is able to put like
Right.
unique stuff. I mean, yeah, maybe not unique. I'm sure some other show did something like this in the past, but it's just how different that they can keep treading new ground, and it starts with this one, I think.
You know what actually, like, rewatching this, you know what actually shocked me? Because we've seen how with C-137 Rick, and then I think we're in C-131 right now. We see how different the Jerrys are to each other.
Yeah.
C-131 is kind of he's uh he's not the man of the family. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But in C-137, he is clearly the man of the family, which is a little shocking to me. Like
Huh.
if you noticed, he actually makes like
Takes control.
he takes
Their
control.
electronics. Yeah.
He takes
Huh.
control of the family, and then later on, when we find out in another season, he come back. He's like fucking buff as fuck because of the Cronenbergs.
That's true. That's the same one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
Morty's original
Good call, huh?
family. So
Dude, the original Jerry, he had a job. He was taking control of the family. He got fucking buff as shit in like a
yeah,
badass apocalypse world. Dude,
yeah,
Morty's
this
original dad was not bad. Like,
right,
damn.
exactly. And this is the first episode too. Morty starts making actually smart choices too.
How about that? Yeah, I never thought about that. That's all the same one before, the big
Mm-hmm.
twist in episode 6, which I'll save my comments for when we get there.
Right.
But
So
yeah, wow, that's
I think I can agree with this. Goes into Swifty.
yeah,
Also gotta
absolutely.
you gotta absolutely step onto the fact that all these theme parks that we have out there like Disney World and Six Flags, they all touch up on their own themes, but none of which in the United States or in England or anywhere all over the world there's no such thing as an anatomy park where you have a amusement park that is based off of how the body works. No one has done that yet.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it's gonna happen soon. It's gonna be a Rick and Morty like thing in like Universal or something.
Dude,
Yeah.
someone could make a shitload if they made an entire amusement park just based on like Rick and Morty. Like you
And
go
then
into a different section, it'd be like each episode that like a big episode that was like
I
had
feel
something you could structure after.
I feel like if
Like
they
ooh.
do make like a Natty Park real, you know Pirates of the Pancreas is gonna have a long ass line.
Yeah, right. Right.
So I
Or it's
say
gonna get a lot of
Swifty,
pushback from the managers.
right?
Let's see, what does the pancreas do? Does it have involve pirates? No, it makes insulin. It's like
Mm.
hang up on them.
So yeah, I think Swifty. What about you guys?
Oh yeah, Swifty. They're Swifty.
Oh,
I
Swifty.
need you guys to get to the. I need you to get to the left nipple, Morty. I'm trying to get to both of
Yeah,
them,
I'm
Rick.
hoping I get them
Right.
both, Rick. Yeah.
But also, how does Rick know about Annie's puffy vagina?
That is a good question, and I
That
didn't
is
think
a
about it. I watched this like show, and especially like early on, like this season, like probably 3 or 4 times. I think this might be actually my no counting this time we rewatched it fourth or fifth time. So I never noticed that until you mentioned it. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I was like,
he said like puffy vagina. And it's like,
he's
well, wait, how does he know?
right.
How
How
does he
does
know
he
that?
know? Like
I thought
he's
like, oh, huh, funny vagina, but then like, wait a minute, that's right, he knows that.
he knows that. Like how?
That is a good question.
Anyways,
Well,
M Night
as we'll learn in the
Yeah.
Unity episode, he doesn't really have much sexual boundaries, so maybe it's
No, he does not. Okay, so
maybe he's
next
open to
movie,
more than just the legal content. Anyway,
right?
yeah, let's.
M Night Shyamalanians.
I fucking love this one. This like, again with the idea of like I'm impressed with how original
Matrix.
each episode is. Like they're able to keep up original. They don't reuse concepts. They have
No,
so
they
many
don't.
ideas that are
Yeah.
just like they have something that's so different from the rest of the episodes. First one was Anatomy Park, and honestly, next one is immediately afterwards. They've never reused this
Yeah.
idea,
No, they haven't,
and
which is
it's
crazy.
I mean with good reason because they like killed that species that did it. But it's like
Hmm.
nobody else is like taken up a similar idea or got inspired. Nothing like that. It's literally just like they had this idea of a simulated world and using simulations to like inception like simulation within a simulation with all this stuff. They went with it as far as they could go and they're like, nope, we're done. We had that idea, we've exhausted it, it's good, and they've never used it since. I love that originality and they stuck with it. They stuck to their guns. They didn't rehash it because it was a good episode. They just like, nope, this was excellent. We keep it. Let's do other original things for the rest of the show.
And then
My
also,
man.
So I love
my
it. My
man.
man.
So also, freaking, and starts out too with Rick knowing he's in a simulation already. He just knows, and
True.
he already
I don't know
knows.
how you figured that out.
Well, think about it because when he starts the episode, Rick is dissecting a vole,
Mhm.
right? Or the giant rat, and he even says this is just sloppy craftsmanship, meaning he's done it enough times to realize something is not right in this thing, and that it's a simulation.
Yeah.
And also, this is a thing I came up with. I didn't tell you guys because I was saving this for this moment. What if during that time he was dissecting those rats? He was doing it in case the Pickle Rick moment came up.
I was thinking about Pickle Rick. I have a hard time rationalizing it though. Like how would he know he'd be in the sewers where like he'd need I guess you could think because he's a super genius and thinks of
Yeah,
all possible situations.
yeah, but it's like the fact that he already has that knowledge. That's how he was easily so able to put shit together and use the rat parts.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that. I don't mind that.
Also, the fact that Morty looks extremely shocked when he sees Rick's dick. So does that mean it's like smaller than he thought it was gonna be, or larger than we thought it was gonna be?
Or maybe he's just young and uncomfortable with nudity.
But
I don't know.
he looked really
Only
shocked,
with
like
girls.
holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this episode kind of showed like how dumb Jerry was, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, him being a pushover was, I think from episode one, kind of. No, that's true. Again, with the whole Christmas thing
Yeah,
in
and
Anatomy Park. Yeah, that's yeah. I think this episode is the first.
yeah, because
Oh, wait a
honestly,
minute.
he
No, hold
he
on. He in the episode with the dogs though. He did that stupid move where like he went in and peed on like their
the
weapons and stuff,
weapons.
and then it's like Like, oh, come on.
That was the first time we
I
saw
think,
him do something dumb, but this is episode we've seen him do so many dumb things.
yeah,
Like he thinks
that's
on
true.
the radio, human music. Like, come on, bro. You should know
Yeah,
from
that's true.
that.
I think, yeah, like maybe anyone's, they get their 1 or 2 passes for doing something stupid in the show for something funny, But this was like a sustained, like, oh yeah, no, he ain't playing with a full deck of cards,
But you know what actually surprised me in the same episode? Jerry actually knows what derivative means. I was like, wait, so you're dumb enough to be like, oh, human music, this sounds good, or fucking you think there's an award for apples to apples type thing, but
Right?
he
Yeah,
actually knows the word derivative means. I'm like, dude, okay, is he dumb or is he smart?
I guess there's a difference to be said between intelligence versus education.
True,
I guess
yeah.
exposure to the word and like memorizing it. Once you're familiar enough with it, then hey. In any case, this episode for me, solid Swifty. I'd
Swifty.
settle for Pickle Rick, but of course, we'll leave
Oh,
it all
this
open for
this is
whatever other
also
people have
the
to say about it.
episode Jerry loses his job at the very end. The end credits.
Oh, he got fired, right?
Yeah, he got fired in the end credits.
And he never got a job again until
No, season
until
3, episode 1, the pilot.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yep.
Well, actually,
Wow.
technically, this Jerry didn't need a job in 2 more
Oh, good
episodes.
point. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, I can go ahead and say Pickle Rick for this one. I feel like there's some stuff missing. Especially there's some stuff too that I have to docket for, because remember when Rick said they have to be naked the whole time, but during the rap
Yep.
concert they completely dress up.
Well, they wanted the program to work then, right?
Yeah, but it would have
Work
worked too.
really hard.
It would have worked too. Because all they had to do was say about the same thing they did with no clothes.
Yeah, I guess.
But anyways, yeah, I
In
can
any
say
case,
Pickle Rick.
Ben,
But what do you two think? I'll go majority vote.
I'm going Swifty. You're going Pickle Rick, and Ben,
I'd go
what do you?
Swifty.
Swifty.
I like the idea of them bringing in the Matrix, basically, to it, being in
Yeah.
the different realities and everything. Yes.
I know. I think this one right here too also deserves a Swifty on it. 'Cause it's the Meeseeks episode. Come on.
The Meeseeks is so iconic to the show.
It is like, and then
It's-
we also get a Ghostbuster reference at the very start of the show.
Oh
And-
yeah, that's right.
and
That's
this
that's so like outside of the. I actually keep forgetting that opener is with this episode. It's just so different. But yeah, that's true.
This is the episode where
Ghostbuster
we
reference?
see Rick, or we see Morty get his own adventure.
True.
That
Though,
turns
to be
out
fair,
to
that
be
was very bland, and they went a little heavy with that like
the
near
jelly.
rape scene.
Yeah,
But
jelly
yeah,
bean king.
so the Meeseeks half of it, 100%. Oh damn, that was great. And then the Jack and the Beanstalk half of it was, for me, much to be desired. I think that was the throwaway side of it. Was
Gotcha.
surprisingly that the side of it that wasn't to me the A plot of the series, actually that was the A plot for the first time I think in the entire series didn't include Rick and Morty.
Right?
Though I'm sure there's another example out there, but okay, no, I think of another episode.
I
Okay,
mean,
but
I could say one without our Rick and Morty would be the Citadel episode, which I
I
believe.
guess that's true. I mean, then we're opening up a different can of worms.
Right, exactly. But yeah, this episode it starts off good, and then it just goes 10 with the Morty scene in the bathroom. And then,
I fucking love how they went with like the Meeseeks summoning other Meeseeks to do what
Right.
they need to do, and they start getting increasingly more desperate about this
You
shit. It's
murder
like,
him.
yeah,
right. And then look,
kill him. Yeah.
the fact that the funny thing too is Jerry's the only one who did something like he actually listened to Rick and did something that could be plausible, but it ends up being the hardest one.
Yeah, because they're like everyone else, like the other two. They said something that was like really
wanna be-
subjective and
I
was
want to
like
be
weird. It's
super
like, oh, shit.
popular at school, and then
Yeah.
Beth is like, I want to feel more like a complete
More
woman.
complete woman, yeah, and it's like that sounds like, oh, what the fuck, what do you actually? But no, it turns out those are the ones they could do. I guess
Right.
by coincidence. Oh man.
What's the reference to Ghostbusters that was in the beginning of this one?
Oh shoot, they were trapping something. And one of their
It was like Dean and
dimensions.
parents or something. I don't know, but they had some trap they
Yeah,
threw
they
on the
had the
floor.
Ghostbusters trap to throw on the
Yeah.
floor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't
they
look
hit the
into the
button,
trap.
which was on the wall for some reason, as you pointed out.
It's
It was
cool.
like it was built into the ship, as if the trap somehow was like connected to the ship's power supply. Anyway,
Looking at
that's
my my notes too, I just realized this too. Um, Rick's singing "Sweet Home Alabama," which I feel like could be a reference for later on in season 5 with the incest baby.
uh,
What if it was like leading
I
up to that? Like he,
I guess, but for like the creators to think that far ahead, I think
I
maybe
feel
more likely they could have rewatched their old stuff and then got inspired by some of it.
right,
They're like, oh, we could call back to that. So
right,
I think maybe
exactly,
either it's a season 5 calling back to it, if there is a reference or a connection there, rather than this referencing like if they thought that far ahead, if they thought 5 seasons ahead,
right,
then
yeah,
oh damn.
still. And then at the end, Rick does kill the Jelly Bean King through the portal because he does know he tried to Rick Morty.
Yeah. So this episode, anyway, as the verdict on my end, I'd say Pickle Rick, but like upper Pickle Rick, somewhere between
So
the two. But of
basically
course, I have
between
to
Pickle
round,
and
so I'd say
Swifty,
yeah.
I'd say Swifty.
The
Ben, wait, what? Swifty?
Swifty.
All right,
Swifty,
Swifty it is.
Swifty. It is, man. We haven't had
Oh
anything
yeah,
new Squad Share family,
in that
It's all been A tier or higher.
right?
in that previous episode, the one with the alien on the picture, I can't think of the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
That one. Didn't he sing like another song at the end of that episode too? Wasn't it like Baker Street or something?
Yeah, he was
Uh,
doing the instrumental.
Why not? Yeah. That
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. He started doing that. Yeah,
yeah.
No. Yeah.
that's funny.
And
That's
now
right.
Because
He did do
Jay will
that.
never give away. They don't know the formula, anyways.
right?
Yeah, concentrated
Why
dark
don't you
matter.
why don't you ask the smartest people in the world? Oh wait, you can't. They're dead.
That was great. Now to the
um,
next one.
this one,
Honestly,
wow, the
a
second to last
fucking
episode, we see C-137.
second to last.
Yeah,
What do you mean
because
this?
C-137. This is the second to last time we see C-137 dimension.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they go back one more time. Because
They go
Morty's
to
trying to show.
C-135, don't they?
Well, this
N-
isn't 137. So
th- th-
the what we've been following this whole time up until this point, and including this point,
this is C.
we
This
we know it's not Rick's own
yeah.
home dimension because I remember much later with like
That's true.
the eye patch Morty thing, they show
Yeah.
him like flashbacks of
To
like
a baby Morty.
yep, baby Morty, which since we know that Rick didn't show up until Morty was 14 or so, we know that at least in this timeline, this universe, the one that we've been in since the beginning, is
Yep.
at the very least not the one that our Rick is originally from. So Dimension C-137 we've probably never seen.
Actually, I
But
feel like we have seen. But the thing is, I mean, think about season 3, and season 5. So season 3, the pilot starts
Sure.
out with Rick being in the simulation, right? The other simulation with the oh gosh, what are they called? Oh man, I can't
There's another
think of the
simulation episode.
I can't think of the name of it. Where he's in the Shoney's and he's going through
Oh, that
with
yeah, that's right. That's right.
the
You're right. Yep.
Grumpamites. The Grumpamites. There you go. He's talking to the other Grumpamite and they're taking him through, and he goes to. It's all about Rick's memories in that one. So he remembers
Yeah.
about the McDonald's
yeah.
Moulin Szechuan sauce.
The
And
Sicilian.
yeah, and
Yep.
then we see that we see the time where Rick denies the portal gun and stuff to go with the other Rick, and they drop a bomb on Beth and Diane. Now we all
But
thought that was just because Rick said yes you can, but you can't alter anything,
yeah,
fabricate
exactly.
it.
Yep.
But as we saw in season 5, episode 8, I think it was, we go into Bird Person's mind, and Bird Person sees the exact same thing that happened. And then
Oh, that's right.
later on, Rick and Bird Person are killing other Ricks and saying killing us will never bring her back.
Okay. Okay.
So now my theory is that dimension Rick came in, or where Beth and Diane died, that is C-137, and he hopped to this dimension. we're
Actually,
in
more
now.
to your point. On top of that, there were a few times when they mentioned the other Ricks mentioned
Mm.
something about like chasing after like your dead daughter or something like that, which is a weird
Yeah,
comment because there are so many universes where Beth is alive. But that's right. Maybe the ones that they hinted later, that's because the ones where
the
his daughter died are the ones where
C-137
he had
ones.
the motivation to make the interdimensional travel. So
Yeah.
the only ones who are traveling between universes are the ones who lost their daughter, and now
Hmm.
they're going and visiting other universes that still have his daughter. It's like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
because even then he even says he's giving up, and then he's like, "All right, I'll start the car," and they come in, and then they drop the bomb because he didn't want to join them.
Yep.
So
All right, but we are
Yeah,
dancing around this one
we
though.
were dancing around a
Honestly,
lot.
this
what Morty do we have?
We don't
we
know.
don't know.
Okay.
No one knows.
There's no at least dimension label. We don't know,
Yeah.
but it does stay consistent through the series though. Anyway, for this episode, for me, one of the biggest landmarks of this season, because this I up until this point, my impression was that it was like this, I guess, kind of Back to the Future inspired, which it was kind of like adventures through space, and then they introduced this idea where in the big twist at the end of this episode, it's like you could just fucking hop universes,
Right.
and like this is on a multi-dimensional level that like this expanded the limits of the show and like where this is potentially going to take us by like infinite fold. It's like
Right. No, I agree.
I'd never seen a show that had the fucking balls to say like you've seen those shows where like no matter how catastrophically they fuck things up, there's always some solution, right?
Right.
This one they're like, nope,
Like Back to the
we fucked
Future.
it up so bad.
We gotta hop
Our
dimensions,
only solution is to abandon this universe. And
and
it's
they
like,
can only
oh
do it 3 to 4
damn,
times too.
dude. I don't know that in like in several ways to me, this was a brand new just a new way of looking at the show as a whole, and it hit me like several points at the same time in the same episode. I'm like, oh my god, to me, absolute. This was like my insta Swifty when I knew that this list like instant S tier.
And
But
then this is also the part where we see Beth's and Jerry's marriage start to fail.
and come back together.
Yeah, because Rick even says your parents are gonna do it. Break the cycle, Morty. Rise above. Focus on
That's
science.
that's right. That's right.
You're
Which is also a
What?
he
good line. And
right?
also the great line later. Well, sometimes the science is more art than science.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
get that. It's like,
yeah.
oh, I love
Freaking.
that.
It's like okay,
What?
well, sometimes science is more art than science, Morty.
Yep. So what's up, Ben?
What was the machine? Do you guys know what the machine was that Rick and Morty were building at the end of this episode that blew up and killed them?
It was something Rick was making in his dimension at the start. And Rick was like, he subtracted the ship. I don't remember what the machine was called.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying
I don't
attention.
And
know what
then
it's supposed to do. Yeah.
also the fact that when Morty was bugging Rick for a love potion, he says you're growing into a big thorn straight up into my ass, which could be referring to his other Morty that he hopped after he hopped dimensions to, aka Evil Morty.
Maybe.
And also the fact when Rick asked for Morty for some DNA, he was totally okay with jacking it in front of Rick. He starts to pull down his pants, and Rick's like, "No, just your hair."
Yeah, this isn't Game of Thrones.
Right?
So yeah. This episode, anyway, yeah, for me, my vote's already in. It was in before we
Swifty.
even started the list. Yep, after
Oh,
absolute
right.
S tier.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. I mean, you guys pitch in however you want. That
I
my
say
vote's S
Swifty
tier.
too. Ben.
Yep, Swifty.
Also, this episode had another great line too. Is when Rick is talking about Davin digging into Beth, and Summer says gross, and he's like, "Julia, you're talking about my mom." He's like, Rick responds with, "It's my daughter.
Oh,
I
that's
outrank
right.
you."
I outrank you. That's right. That's a great one.
And then Rick actually takes this is the only episode too we see Rick actually take responsibility for his own problem, his own fault.
Huh.
Remember, he's like he gives Morty the potion, and as he leaves, like, as long as she doesn't have the flu, because he didn't ask up if she had the flu or anything. And then later on, he says, "Yeah, no, this is totally on me. I should have asked beforehand."
Okay. Okay. I
But
think later
yeah,
he tries to sidestep it with the blaming Morty about like, oh, you should have told me I had this flu. That's valuable information. Then he's like, you have to take your part of the blame, Rick. And so it's like, I think there was a bit of sharing there, but
yeah,
yeah,
and then of
that's a
course
good point.
the references to David Cronenberg, the who is the king of the
The director, right?
venereal. Yeah, he is the king of the venereal horror, as he is titled, or also known as the Baron of Blood, who made the Fly movie.
Yep, that's the only movie I've ever seen by him.
Anyways, now we move on to Raising Gazorpazorb. This is the first time we see them in a different dimension.
This
And
isn't
I
our Rick and Morty.
no, this is on Rick and Morty, but remember they left at Cronenberg to go
Gotcha. Oh,
into
I see what you mean.
here, and at Cronenberg they had to bury their own bodies.
Right. Which
So
won't get referenced to a little next episode. But as far as this one,
yeah,
yeah, the we don't know what mission it started out with. For some reason, they're just out there in like I don't know, a universal pawn shop, whatever you call that kind of a place that they started.
right.
And then
Morty
yeah,
is
no idea why
trying
they're
to
out there.
Morty's trying to like be like, hey, that thing over there in the corner looks cool.
Yep. Right.
Trying to play it off all cool, and then Rick
Yeah, it's a nice
says,
souvenir, Rick.
Right. He's like, come on, Rick, I go over here everywhere. I don't get any souvenirs. He's like, all right, and then my grandma wants a sex doll.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, this is the first time we see Morty drinking out of an orange juice container, which is later referenced in season 5.
It is. Yes, that's true. They reference that later. Yep.
They notice how every time he's doing something sexual with himself, he always ends up later drinking out of an orange juice container.
Well, only twice, right? Those 2 episodes?
But yeah,
Or is there something else?
that's only 2 episodes we've seen him do something like that.
Gotcha.
Oh, and Summer goes on her first adventure.
True. Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
For me, I do like that. They did a couple things. They had an interesting approach with the whole gender thing. I like
Hmm.
the dynamic, and I don't think I can give too many other credits to the episode beyond that. What
And
else
then
happened? Tell me more of it, because I'm sure I'm
okay,
missing something.
this they go to the planet, because one of the resort planets, because
Yeah.
the females are actually the ones that are smart and stuff, and Summer has to pretend that Rick's her slave.
Yep.
And then also, I love the part where Rick is getting choked, and then and he's like, no, it's okay, he's my slave. And he's like, what's the opposite? He must have enjoyed the choking because he said, what's the opposite of wubba lubba dub dub?
Oh, that's right.
Which means, of
That's
course.
funny. That's true. That's true.
And then also, let's not forget the line with Morty's son saying, running out into the street, God is dead, the government's lame. Thanksgiving is about killing the Indians. Jesus wasn't born on Christmas. They
Yeah.
moved the date. It was a pagan holiday.
Yeah, that was funny, and it's true also.
Yeah, it is 100%
But more
true.
to that, then it's like, yeah, that whole extra thing. I like also the post credits
Oh,
bit
where
where it's like
Morty
him, he's like an
Jr.
author and shit,
makes a
and it's
book
like,
called My Horrible Father.
yeah, and it's like that was really well done. Like the the low brow humor in there is just
Right.
excellent. I
Gosh.
can't give it crap for that.
No, I cannot. What do you think, Ben? What's your opinions on Raising Gazorp?
Didn't like the episode. I wasn't a huge fan of it. If I were to rate it, it would be an ooh-wee or a squatch. I wasn't a huge fan of it like the others.
Because I was thinking it was lower than the other ones.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Swifty or a Pickle Rick. I don't think so. I mean, I think it might be borderline Pickle Rick, but I don't think it's
definitely
quite
wouldn't
there.
do Swifty. I was saying I was like, my thinking going into this was upper, like, top. The highest I could give it would be Pickle Rick. That'd be my ceiling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also willing to put this one a little bit lower. Just because I think as far as the originality goes, and, not like everything has to be original. I mean, of course, this looking so far. Look at these episodes. It's been absolute top shelf quality so far. So not like we're expecting it to maintain that. So yeah.
But yeah, I can say squanch your family.
Sounds
Like
good to me.
the only thing that was really intriguing in that episode is the fact that he farted
Oh, and it
and
was
like really
so
loud,
long and so
obnoxiously, and
loud.
offended everyone in there. And it's just like, are you kidding me? You guys haven't farted like that? Come on now.
Right. So yeah, I could
I
say
love when they're
squanch
trying
your
to execute
family.
him, and then it's like he guesses it right away. Like, no, no, the boulder hits a lever which sends knives. He's like, oh god,
No,
just give me a
just
gun, I'll
keep
do it
going to
myself.
myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
So yeah, I could say you squanch your family. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, absolutely, agreed.
Now, the first episode doesn't really follow their adventure stuff. It's just them watching
True.
interdimensional cable.
I think the idea, like all
Followers.
the ball fawners, indeed.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
ball farmers.
the appeal of this one that they made that inspired them to make it was the fact they had a whole bunch of random skits and ideas that never made it to like full episodes. So they're like,
Hmm.
fuck it, let's just throw them all into one thing like this. And the fact that not only is it that they had all these little ideas, it's that we know they're going to continue to come up with additional ideas that won't make it to full episodes, and that now they have this format, interdimensional cable, which they can use once per season as they've established,
Right.
kind of, to have it so that they'll always have an outlet for those little
Oh
ideas
yeah.
that never made it to full fruition. It's like, oh my god, that's pretty freaking nice.
I,
Unfortunately, I think they stopped after season 3, didn't they? Did they
I
have an
think
interdimensional
so.
cable in 4? Because I don't think they did.
Yes, they did. Oh fuck! It was
What was it?
the train episode.
Oh, was it the quote? Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
I mean,
ticket,
it
please.
was Ticket Please guy. It was that was kind of like I don't know if that was actually interdimensional. I think they had some interdimensional cable playing in the background. If you notice, I think.
I want to say they'd be like as clever with it as clever, I guess is
Actually,
not
no.
really the word for it, but as
Rick
that
was
one episode where like, you know, the memory one, like, oh, we're doing this instead of interdimensional cable, like just
Yeah.
outright, just break the fourth wall, just says it.
Yeah, Rick
like,
was
oh,
actually
that's
watching
funny.
interdimensional cable at the end of that episode.
Okay.
But this episode, this is also when we get to hear the creators actually start laughing because of their stupidity.
Yeah. Which
I
I
it was
kind of like.
genuine laughter. You can definitely tell it was genuine laughter.
I like that that relaxed, like they just do what they need to do, and it's
Right.
I don't know, something about that. It's like I wouldn't. I'm really big on acting, like anything
Oh
I
yeah,
watch, movies, TV shows. But for some reason, in that the format was like good enough so that when it came down to it, it's like I fucking love the fact they were
They
laughing at their own bullshit.
right.
That made it so much better. Like it's just called Two Brothers, just two
Two
brothers.
brothers.
They're like cracking up and like laughing. It's like, oh my god, that's excellent.
And then the one thing. Oh, and then Morty references the dead bodies to Summer in this
Yeah.
episode.
Oh right, that's right. I was gonna mention that. That was like the main
Yeah, I'm not
thing I
your
was gonna mention.
brother,
About this.
by the way.
Yeah, no,
The
see
fact that
that?
this was
That's your
the
brother.
this was literally the very first episode that actually referenced a previous episode.
Yeah.
So I think up until this point, my impression the first time I watched this show was that each episode was something completely different. Like you could have never seen anything before it, and you just watched an episode and you just get it, right? You know what you
Right,
need to know.
exactly. Yeah.
But this one, it's like it actually referenced something else and gives you an idea of continuity. Ironically, on the one episode that has nothing to do with anything else, where it's all throwaway shit.
Right.
So
And then
maybe that's part of the gimmick, is that like,
and
okay, this is all a bunch of throwaway stuff, so here we'll throw you a bone.
and the only
But
way
yeah,
Morty gets Summer to come back down is just to tell her, hey, those are our bodies out there. We fucked up our universe and came here. Nobody
yeah,
exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV.
come watch TV. Yeah, absolutely. And that way she won't do something with turquoise, whatever that
Right.
means.
Yeah. And then
So yeah,
also what's interesting too is Jerry and Beth's alternate dimension, which was C500A. They actually end
Yep.
up getting together as well. And I think
right.
that's what saved their marriage. Well, a little bit. Well, because it's a new
For a while,
dimension for a
it
mile.
prolonged it.
Yeah, it prolonged it.
As far as ratings come down to, I would kind of have to, as much as I fucking love what they did, I have to concede that it's like best I could give it would be Pickle Rick, but
Yeah,
I
I
think it's sort of like
agree.
the last episode where it's kind of like, you know, definitely not Swifty,
No,
but
it sounds 50.
it was good enough. I'd put it somewhere in the mid range, you know.
I would say probably with Gazorb and Azorb. Just because a lot of it was just interdimensional cable.
Right, and nothing against that.
No,
It's just
that-
that
Yeah.
as far as
That
As-
Lucky Charms commercial was pretty good.
That's fine. I don't
Also,
know, Morty. You gotta pump the gas. You're gonna sell some
also the ending
cereal.
when they take a vacation to go for a hamster butt world, where
Yeah, that's.
the they're out of their butt and they show the inside with a picture of how it
I
looks.
I do like the sort of realistic approach to an otherwise bullshit idea, where it's like if you had some ability to travel from universe to universe, or it's like yeah, people might suspect that you're this like arbiter. You know everything about the universe, and they'll like ask you questions. Hey, what about this universe where hamsters are living in people's asses? And it's like like you don't know anything. Like hey, I don't know. I watch the same show you are. Let's go.
Right.
Let's actually go there. You guys like.
So what do
Are
you
you gonna
guys
be a
think?
piece of shit about it? Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I already got mine. Around the same thing as Gazorpazorp.
Ben,
Squanch, Pickle Rick in the upper scale, but otherwise, think around Squanch your family.
Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
I like the idea of the interdimensional, all the different episodes and
Yeah.
all the different things.
Yeah,
that they
we
put in.
can go. We can
And
go
it's
with
all
Pickle
real
Rick.
stuff, so
It's almost like bloopers. And they just put it in
right.
the
Right. Yeah.
episode.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
it's
it
true.
is. Episode 9.
Mr. Needful.
Something
I
wicked.
reference Mr. Needful every
Right.
time the devil comes up in conversation.
Exactly, because this is the episode where Rick faces off with the devil, and this is where he
Was this the
he
A plot or the B? Oh no, that's right. This is the Titanic was the B plot. That's right.
yes, Titanic was the B plot because Rick makes a
No,
device.
wait, sorry, never mind. No, that was the last one. That was the last one. What was this?
No, you no, the Titanic one is
The very
episode
last
11.
episode.
Yeah, that's risky business.
So
The
okay,
B
what was the B
plot
plot
with
for this
this
one?
one could be what was the B plot for this one? I think it just focused more on Summer and oh wow, this is the episode. This is one episode Morty was actually not really in.
That's right.
Damn, yeah. What did Morty do in this one? Shit.
I don't was he even in this episode?
He had to have been.
I think at the start of the episode. But damn, yeah,
I can't think of it at all.
right?
I'm trying to like I'm like trying to recall anything about this episode.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna bring this up.
I know what the other plot was. It's Jerry. It's Morty was in it. He was doing a the universal planet system, and
Oh,
they went to Pluto.
right, Pluto.
Pluto was
Got it.
Pluto's a planet, motherfucker.
Unfortunately, it became weird when Pluto actually became a planet again, and I think it became not a planet again, and they're still kind of
Yeah,
waffling.
they're still going back and
And now it's
forth
a
with
planet.
Pluto.
So,
And
unfortunately, it's like it causes a little bit of. It's like it feels like the kind of thing where that part of the episode will be like sometimes relevant, sometimes not, and it's like that's too bad because this is this
Right.
is great. Funny.
This is also where Morty admits that him and Jerry are both idiots.
Yep.
And then also that Rick like fucks with the devil so badly he actually tries to hang himself.
Yeah. And that monkey paw quote, like, what a waste of a monkey paw.
Right.
Like,
And
to save him.
he also says the devil also says Rick is the devil and wants to go back to hell where the people thinks he's smart.
Yeah, right.
And then what was the
I may be the devil, but your grandpa is the
devil.
Yeah.
And then they make a reference to Guantanamo Bay by calling Pluto Plutonamo Bay.
Yep.
And then
And I love like the corporate angle they're putting about that, where like they're like eating their own planet for profit, not eating, but like harvesting their own planet for profit, and it's like everyone else in power is trying to deny it and shit. It's like oh, that's actually pretty fucking relatable. Damn.
right. And
So
then,
that's pretty cool. I would put this like upper tier, maybe like Pickle Rick
I
average.
I can see Pickle Rick. Yeah, I can see Pickle Rick because he was also Zuckerberg before Zuckerberg's balls dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we also have to give it to them with the ending with it's gonna give it to you montage while lifting weights, kicking the devil's ass, and then the end credits literally just beating the shit out of
the
people.
same exact way.
Whoever deserves it, Ooh.
All right, next one. I'm
give it to
honestly
so,
gonna have to...
so just a little inside joke. I wrote this down. My first note for this. So Dad, You guys remember when Kevin was trying to show the episode and it just all black? So dad. So dad. So dad.
Oh yeah, I kept doing
Yes,
that. It's like he
right.
kept trying to play it, but the video wouldn't play.
And so
The audio would keep doing it.
so
Yep.
dad. And this
Oh
is
man, but
also the Citadel
uh,
of Ricks. That's right.
for my part of the analysis, I literally will come like straight out of the gate and say like
Swifty.
instantly this is S tier for me.
This is
Yeah,
instantly
Swifty.
Swifty.
Like man, it was taking the previous idea of this like infinite number of realities, Morty, and then like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, shit, these guys can fucking talk to each other and like form an entire citadel of Ricks and shit, and like. And the way they like apply it, like that fucking like coupon for replacing a Morty and shit, like all the
Yep.
little fucking, it's excellent. I
And
love
then
that shit.
also, I think this is the first time we see just the whole episode is just one plot.
Oh, good point.
Really,
Yeah,
like
they didn't dip it. Oh, I guess there was the whole
the
Rick.
little there was a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's enough to call that a B
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like it was such a solid plot that they could actually do the whole episode, which I don't think they did anything until they went back to the Citadel
Yeah.
with the next episode about. Well, I mean, I don't know what it's called. Fuck, it's like season 3,
Mm.
the end of season 3, whatever that. I forget
Oh
what it's
yeah,
called. Shit.
yeah.
Eye Patch Morty comes back. But on the topic of Eye Patch Morty, this is his
The first
fucking
time.
his opening. This is his introduction to the series. Actually,
that-
I guess we couldn't call him Eye Patch because he only has it in this one episode. Evil
Right.
Morty.
Evil Morty, yep.
And that is like, man, I gotta say, this whole series, as interested as I am in a lot of the plots, I am most interested in what's happening with Evil Morty.
Right, because I mean, speculation, of course. He's the original Morty.
I've heard about that.
Well,
yeah.
well, actually, technically, he wouldn't be the original Morty since Beth is dead. He would be the Morty he went to
Oh, good
after
point.
Beth died.
That's
So
a good
this
point. Oh,
this
shit.
technically wouldn't be C-137 Morty. It'd just be his first Morty in an alternate dimension.
That's a good point. If in his original home dimension, Beth died as a kid, then that one memory that he had about like in that actually in this episode,
Yeah.
in this episode where he's like holding baby Morty, that's not even his Morty.
No,
That's
not.
another Morty.
That's another
Oh
Morty.
my god.
Yeah.
I didn't thought about that. All right, so he's already at the time when he has baby Morty. That's him already in a different universe.
Right,
Shit,
and then
does he have any memories from his actual universe?
I don't know,
Other than,
man.
of course, what we saw in flashback. But damn.
Right.
Yeah.
And then shit, this is just. Oh,
The
and then
level of detail
also,
in this. In the
also we
phone
see.
gag.
Yeah, the phone gag. But we
I love
also
that.
we also do see another throwback in this episode to a previous episode. The moment the Ricks come in and take C-137 Rick, and then his now Morty, which we actually don't know what dimension he is. He thinks he's C-137, but he's not.
Yep.
We actually see when they teleport in with the other Ricks. In the background, you can see Cronenberg, Rick and Morty.
Oh, that's right.
Because at
Yeah,
the end of
right.
Called
Cronenberg,
brief attention to it.
yeah, they hop to a Cronenberg world because their world got cured and it was humans.
Also, there was one point in this which I don't know how much I contribute towards my opinion of the episode in general, but in this episode, they had a reference. Have you seen Gravity Falls?
No, but I do know what you're talking about though.
In one of the portals, they have a
Yeah.
very direct reference to it. Like,
Yeah.
if you know the show and you know at least one particular scene in the show, and then this particular thing, it unmistakable. I'll show you a YouTube video sometime. Like, there's no, absolutely not an accident. Like, it's definite reference, and maybe it's not to say that it's canon that they're the same universe, but at the very least that they're
I think there is a
they're
theory
giving
though.
fan service to each other,
I think there is a theory though that it is the same universe.
Which I
believe I've
Hell
seen
yeah.
theory videos on it. But let's also reference the fact that that they're you never look at another man's portal gun, referring to you never look at another man's history.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, like your search history.
And then he also
we all go to
tells,
some weird places,
and this is when we find out this Rick is also the rickiest Rick. He's the
That's right.
most Rick because he even tells them to the other Ricks, you guys wanted
Richest
to
Rick.
be safe from the government, so you became a stupid government. And he's still against the government, so still shows that he is the Rickest Rick.
You're
And then
right.
also I do love the fact that we find out how Ricks are able to hide so well is because they use Morty's as
Oh,
camouflage.
true. Which I don't think plays much of a role after this episode, but at
Not
least
much.
it's a cool.
I think it does a little bit, but not much.
In
Because
any case,
when the Citadel's trying to find him and stuff, because
yep.
he's with Morty, he's able to hide away from them.
In any case, definitely for this ranking,
Shit,
for me,
Swifty.
absolute Swifty.
Yeah. Ben?
I was gonna say either Swifty or Pickle Rick. Either of the
I
two.
say Swift.
All right.
Also, I
So
do like
definitely up there.
one of my favorite parts of this episode was when they're going to the dome and they see all the Mortys getting pricked, and
Yeah.
then he's like, "I fiddled a concept like this once on paper, Morty,
On
on
paper,
paper.
yeah.
I wouldn't do
Right.
this. It's barbaric overkill. I mean, you could accomplish the same results like 5 Mortys and jumper cables, which I also wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I'm just
right.
saying, it's bad craftsmanship."
That was great. I love that.
Right. All right. Now,
Last episode.
last episode. This is the
I-
Titanic episode, and we find out Jerry's favorite movie is Titanic.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't end with like the previous episode because how big that was. Like
Right? Yeah.
that's season ender for me.
Yeah. I feel like this
But-
should have been definitely the last episode, and then this. But this also does set him up for season 2.
I will grant that the episode 1 of season 2 is hella fine.
Yes.
And to set up with this, yeah, it recovers it a little bit. But at least if you're first watching the show, you end on this, and they say like that's the end of the first season.
You're like, what?
A bit anticlimactic.
Right.
I have to say, there's a party, so it shows you a bit about him. I fucking also love his lines like, oh, and why do you throw parties to get riggedy wreck, son?
And then
I love that. That was pretty good. But otherwise,
and then we see a lot of people's favorite characters, Aberdolf Linkler.
Yep. I think is this the first time we find Bird Person, or is he in
This
another
is
episode
this
before
is the first time we see Bird Person.
Okay.
The
I'll give
beacon
him
was
that
activated.
a little bit of brownie points.
I'm glad that nobody is in danger. Which season 5 makes a reference to this episode when we go on Bird Person's mind.
Also, he does fiddle with time again, and he says he doesn't like to do that.
He does fiddle with time. Yeah, he's Clock Morbius.
Oh, I mean, like at the end where he's like, give me the
oh
thing
yeah,
with the
where he
flashing
freezes
lights.
the flashing lights.
It describes everything in your
Yeah.
Rick,
Yeah.
everything you say describes that.
They don't actually teleport through time. It's the people that he freezes that time change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And then how Rick actually sends Morty out to get these crystals, thinking they'll teleport him back, when really it's just to get Rick high.
Just get high. Yeah.
Linkler dies or gets seriously injured. Also, we also find out there was a sign in there Jerry might have been raped as a kid.
There's a what? Oh, right.
Remember he's talking to Beth like he would have raped me, and then she says something. And
yeah. What does a rapist look like? Is it a Hispanic something? I forget exactly.
And she's like, what? It's like, oh, nothing. Which would say he's probably been raped when he was younger.
Yeah, and they never touch on that again. It's like,
No.
Is that a thing, or was that just him doing some kind of throwaway joke, or what's up with that?
Right. And
yeah.
And this episode we find out what Wubba Lubba Dub Dub means.
Also true.
Yeah, and then also Gub Nub Nub Do, which Gub Nub Nub Do Raka means whatever lets you sleep at night.
That's right. They mentioned that just that one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whatever lets you sleep at night. And then of course Rick poorly explaining the freeze ray.
I would have to give us a little bit more brownie points for some of the things that it references, as well as the fact that it sets up like
Season
one
2.
hell of an open episode. Yeah, like episode 1, season 2 is really good. I love that one.
I would say it's not Swifty though, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking more mid-range for me.
Yeah.
I'd have to suggest Squanch level, but
yeah, I was honestly thinking about the same, just because you have the closed Rick counters of Rick Kind, and then you have this episode.
True.
And you're just like, damn.
you're thinking, oh my god, as awesome as the Citadel of Rick's episode was, you think that, and it's like, oh shit, the season finale is next. Your expectations are even higher, and then you get that. And it's just,
Yeah.
not to say it's bad. It's just, it's as far as the pacing goes, that's a bit unfortunate.
Uh-huh.
So
What about you, Ben?
Say either Pickle Rick or Shrifty, because I actually liked the season 1 finale. I like that they added the
okay.
aspect of the Rick dance, like he has his
The
own
Rick
dance.
dance, right? It's
Do
not.
the
That
Rick
was pretty
It's
cool.
dance,
not.
and
Rick.
then
I love once he did the drugs and like he started like doing that like windmill thing, like they kind of like
Right.
graduate faster and faster and slower, and then
No,
faster. They
yo,
kind of they
Clock
really like
Mobius, hit me with the.
cinematically worked that up really
Right.
well.
and then they mentioned they had a reference of Zathura in there, which was a movie that had Josh Hutcherson when he was a young kid in there, and it was it were two brothers playing a game called Zathura, and one
Oh,
of them rolled
Zathura,
a thing,
yes,
where it
yes.
blasts their house in the middle of space, in the middle of nowhere, and you can't really leave it because you're just gonna
Well,
fall into space.
I mean, Rick. No, they weren't gonna fall in space. I would say it was really a Zathura reference, just because they were able to leap whenever they wanted to.
Yeah.
So I would say
If
it
they
was
had a
a
game involved,
Zathura.
that would still though. I think the there could have been a parallel there. I don't know if that was
Could
intentional.
have been, but so we say what? Either Squanch
So
or
wait,
Pickle Rick.
my vote was Squanch. His was Pickle Rick. Yours was
Mine was
what? Will?
Squanch. Squanch as well.
Okay.
Just because I feel like it just
Okay. So I think as far as majority, then yeah, I guess I would
there
just
was
go there.
just some things missing.
Wow, those two work together almost like the same image.
Right? Yeah, no. I was like, damn, that really. Hold on, let's see. Ah, no, we're better this way.
Not quite as well. Yeah, yeah.
if
all
if
good.
if there's the case right here, imagine.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
In
this
any
is
case, seriously, look at that. Like
wow,
that distribution. Like most of them were fucking top shelf quality. Like
right?
god
And
damn.
just for season
What
1,
what a way to open a series, you know?
right? And this is just season 1. We still got season 2, 3, 4, and we still got 4 more seasons to go through.
Yeah. And we haven't even reached my favorite episodes yet, honestly. It gets
All
like
right,
fucking
same.
banger.
Ooh,
Yeah, good
this
shit.
is gonna be. I feel like the next 4 are gonna be extremely hard because we obviously try not to put like so many episodes S tier, but there's sometimes you just can't help it.
Right.
Sometimes
And
you
you
cannot
kind of
help
like
it.
have to scale. Like if everything is like incredible quality, you kind of have to scale it a bit down so that you
Yeah,
have something to make an A rank, and
right.
it is. But the fact that nothing dropped below like
Squanch.
good quality, it's
Yeah.
like that's damn, you know?
I mean, and I feel like
Yeah, what a
we
show.
might never get to Wub Lub Dub Dub. I feel like maybe one episode out of 5 seasons, which would be fucking 50 episodes, maybe. I
Yeah.
think the lowest we'll get is Ooey.
Yeah, the top of my head, I can't think of anything that would get to Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, but
No,
ooh, I'm gonna keep that open because I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking of. But
right. Yeah, same here.
everything else is like squanching up, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
So
Like even now, I'm
damn.
trying to think of an episode that could possibly fit down
Same.
there, and I can't think of one. I cannot think of one episode. I would have to go through and see the episode names and then
Yeah.
decide from there.
Like I'm sure there is one. I just can't off top. I'm trying to think of like something, but
Even one right now that I'm
anyway,
thinking
yeah.
of that was in season 4, the one where Rick supposedly has sex with the planet. I feel like that
Oh,
one's
yeah.
even. I feel like that one's not even
my.
Ooey. I feel like that's just your Squanchy family. Like I don't see
Yeah,
anything below
in
Squanch.
trying to look for an ooh wee, you still end up finding just another squanch. Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
You find another Squanch, and it's like, damn. All right, shit.
Yeah, that's one hell of a show.
It is. It's one hell of a show. But we will start season 2 soon, and after we finish that, we will do a tier list on that.
Another tier list. Sounds
Which,
good to me, man.
right? But for anyone who wants to actually do this tier list, I will have the link in the description. This is what I made. You guys can change. I'm pretty sure you guys can change this if you wanted to. I did put all the notations in here because a lot of the ones I found didn't have just season 1, episode 1, and a lot of them did not have anything to with the names on them of what episode they were. So I
Oh,
said,
so you
screw
gotta
it.
make them for each one.
So yeah, I had to make them for each one, which I feel like is better because now other people can see this. They can be like, "Oh, look, somebody has one for season 1. Oh, look, they're actually named." So I know
Yep.
which title card is which episode. But I also think
As opposed to Supernatural.
I think I did pick very good pictures to kind of tell you, even if you didn't have this, you
Yep.
can tell what episode they were.
Absolutely.
Like you can look at the if like without this, you'd be like, okay, maybe let me just look at the episode names. I'm like, okay, well, obviously this is episode 1. This is episode 2. We all know about Anatomy Park. You can just read that. This time at aliens, you're like, oh, there's aliens. And then be like Meeseeks. There's pictures of Meeseeks, Cronenberg,
Right.
and then Raising Gazorpazorp. You would see episode
Oh, yeah.
7. You would see the title, be like, oh, okay, that's probably this one.
Yeah, all these were good.
Rickety
yeah, like,
Minutes.
no question. I look at them and like, oh, instantly recognize what they're about.
Yeah, and then you got
Yeah.
something Ricket This Way Comes. Then yeah, that'd be there's actually really good pictures.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, again,
Good
guys,
shit.
the link will be in the description if you guys want to do it yourself. Feel free. Anyways, we will see you guys next time.